Hey guys, it's Sandeep from RevAtlas and welcome to our review of the Vivo Z1x smartphone. So before we get started, please do make sure to hit the subscribe button and also like this video at the end if you do happen to enjoy it. Now let's get the video started. So this video review of the Z1x won't be as long as our typical reviews, primarily because not much has changed compared to two other Vivo smartphones. So the Z1x is based on the S1 primarily, and it also borrows one key aspect of the Z1 Pro, which we shall talk about later in the review. So as a result, we link both the S1 and Z1 Pro reviews in the description as well as at the end of the video for you to take a look. And in this video, we'll be focusing only on the changes and how it affects the end consumer experience. So there are three primary changes and one small change on the Vivo Z1x. The first and biggest change is possibly the camera setup. So at the back you have a triple camera setup. On the S1 and the Vivo Z1 Pro you got a 16 megapixel primary camera f1.8 lens, and you also got an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera, and lastly a 2 megapixel depth sensor. Now here what Vivo has done, they have swapped the primary 16 megapixel camera, given you a 48 megapixel half inch 0.8 micron f1.8 camera. It captures in 12 megapixel resolution pixel bin with an output of 1.6 micron pixel size, and that is an upgrade. So at the front you still have the 32 megapixel camera from both the S1 and the Z1 Pro, but of course this is in a water drop notch shape, which is like the Vivo S1, and overall design is very similar to the S1. If you look at it, both these smartphones are pretty identical in terms of the footprint, the weight, the thickness, etc. And there's only slight changes here and there. One of the small changes on the Z1x being the color. So this is a different color, this is a purple color, there's also a blue one, and these are not available on the Z1 Pro or the S1. They still have the gradient and nice sort of glimmery finish at the back, but they're not available. You also see the slightly different Vivo placement, Vivo branding placement at the back on both these, but the display remains the same. It's 6.3 inches, 1080p plus Super AMOLED display, in-display fingerprint scanners there. I would have preferred the larger 6.5 inch display from the Z1 Pro, but this is still not bad. Some people don't like that because of the camera cutout in the display, but I prefer that over the water drop notch, but still not a bad trade-off. It's still a Super AMOLED display, and that's a good thing. The other major change is that this features a USB Type-C port. So that's the first time that Vivo is bundling a USB Type-C port in this segment below 20k rupees, and it's a good one at that because it supports fast charging up to 22.5 watts compared to the other ones which top out at around 18 watts I believe. And you also get a 4500 mAh battery just like the S1. You get around 7 to 8 hours screen on time, which is great and good enough for most people for one day of heavy use, or some people even 2 days of use if they're not such a heavy user. The other difference is basically in terms of the processor. So while the S1 had some changes in terms of design, which some people favored due to a slimmer body, more pleasing aesthetics, etc., what it didn't have was a good processor. It went for a MediaTek chipset, and the Z1 Pro had a good chipset in the form of the Snapdragon 712 AIE, and they have adapted that into the Z1X as well. So that's the thing that you get from the Z1 Pro, while you get most of the other aspects from the S1. So you get a Snapdragon 712 chipset in this. There's 6GB of RAM, either 64 or 128GB of storage you can choose, but 6GB of RAM remains by default. And overall performance, everything is fluid, there are no issues with that. Comes with Android 9 Pie out of the box. So overall the Z1X is a pretty good smartphone if you ask me, especially for the asking price of Rs 16,999, which is what it is for the 6 plus 64GB variant. And the Vivo phones, especially the Z1X now, comes at a good value because they are the few devices that you can buy with the Super AMOLED display under 20k rupees. So you have the Galaxy A50. I'm not sure if there's any other Galaxy below 20k, but A50 is there. You have the Realme X, and you have these three devices from Vivo. But this one in particular is good because it has Type-C, it has the 48 megapixel camera sensor, it has faster charging than most of the others out there. So overall a very good smartphone for the price, and I think I would be recommending. Z1 Pro was one of my recommended devices. Now I think this would replace the Z1 Pro as the recommended device if someone is looking at Vivo. So that's it for this video, but before we wrap up, I'd like to mention our plugin channel for today, and that is Tech Devoted. It's run by Suraj, a young kid who actually does quite a number of videos, good videos, and has been in the YouTube game for quite a while now. So he started fairly young, But what I like about his videos is his lighting game and the color correction that he does. It's really on point and looks really great. He does videos on cameras, how to shoot, tutorials, etc. And I suggest you check out his channel for some great content. I'll include his channel as well as one of my favorite videos from him in the description below. That's it for this video, guys. Hope you liked it. See you again in the next one.